Welcome to the Impactful Engineer Project. I'm Steve Maxey, and with my co-host and brother Jake, we are here to bring you guidance, fresh ideas, and the tools to help you become an impactful engineer.
Where that's already created.
Yeah, no. I would find an open source thing and take it from somebody that we can integrate into Autodesk.
Yep.
And Revit and make it better, not like start from the beginning.
Hire a consultant like existing conditions and just have them go and do all of the project scanning that you need. And then you don't even have to have your staff waste time on it. You know what I mean? And it's like
you can, so hire an agency and then have like key staff go around with them as they do it, learn what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you don't need them anymore, then you transfer that, right? You're like, get out agency. Now we're going to do it all the time because we know how.
Yeah. Well,
interesting. Yeah, dude, AI is just, it's cool because it's just going to just disrupting everything. So it's really fun to see. But welcome to the Impactful Engineer. Our mission is to help you grow your engineering career and inspire you to pursue your full potential, not only as an engineering professional, but as a member of your greater community. Some of you might not know, but one of the things that we do that is part of our mission is to spread awareness and access to the world of engineering and the careers that are available in engineering. What we've been doing up to this point in our last 86 or so episodes has been really focused on career advancement and arming you with the things and the actions that you can take to better your career. What I would like to do, starting with this episode, is increase the awareness and the access to engineering, and specifically in the architecture, engineering, and construction industry, which is what I am a part of. Steve will not be here with you today. It's just me, and I have a special guest on. And what we'd like to do is discuss a little bit about how we can arm you with the ability to get closer to the AEC industry, not only for yourself, but for others as well. And if you've been with us this long, you're armed with many tactics and strategies to enhance your own career. Now it's time that we start to think about how do we help others do the same thing and spread the knowledge about what is available in the AEC marketplace for engineers to have great careers. So that's really where we want to go today. And if you want to, or rather, if you are just joining us, and this is your first episode, we have a few types. So one of our most common types is Steve and I will get on the episode, we'll present a topic, we introduce the why and the how around that topic, and then we give you some tips to take some action. We're hoping that we're inspiring you to improve in your career. 2, occasionally we'll have solo episodes, so just Steve or I on. We immediately bring up a topic that we're passionate about and just get down to the point, hoping to give you something to take away that can be a critical growing point in your career, something that you can do to immediately boost your ability to do your job, but also to move up. The third is that about once a month or so, we have a guest on. So that'll be today's episode type. So we bring someone on that is either an expert in a particular field or has something very useful to share. They'll share their perspective on it, their mindset around it, and any actionable tips that you can walk away with. So that is today's episode. And I would like to welcome Chris Jasinski to the show today. He is, and you know what? I'm not going to do a lengthy, drawn-out intro because I'd probably just butcher it anyway, even though I feel like I know you pretty well. How about you introduce yourself, Chris?
Hey, Jake, thanks for having me. My name is Chris Jasinski. I'm a senior associate at HGA. We're an architecture, engineering, full-service interior design firm, landscape architecture. We have 13 offices around the country, a little over 1,200 employees. And I work in our science and technology department and do business development on the East Coast and Mid-Atlantic. So happy to be here.
Awesome. Happy to have you on the show, man. So you're a part of this nonprofit organization that I would love to talk about today.
Yeah, that's my second full-time job at nighttime. After six to midnight is my second job of the ACE Mentorship Program here in Rhode Island.
That's awesome. So let's just dive into the history. Well, whatever you want to give us on the history of ACE, but what is ACE and why are you passionate about it? And why should anyone listening to this care about it?
Yeah, so the ACE Mentor Program is a national organization, nonprofit, that its goal is to engage and educate students on architecture, construction, engineering. Also, the trades is a huge component of it. All the other fields like landscape architecture, that's all made up into what we educate. But there's over 70 affiliates across the country. They serve 12,000 students annually. Over 5,000 mentors are involved across the country annually. And since it started, I believe it's close to $40 million in scholarships, combined, national scholarships and all the affiliates. So that's a look at it nationally. I'm the fundraising chair currently for ACE Mentor Program in Rhode Island. I'm the past chair as well, and then have been vice chair and communications chair. I've done a little bit of everything for the affiliate here in Rhode Island on the East Coast. So we started 20 years ago, or 21 years ago now, in 2003. Since ACE Rhode Island started, we've awarded almost $400,000 in scholarships, and almost 100,000 of that was just in the past 2 years. So we've really been growing what we're doing and the impact we're trying to have on students. And we've had about 1,600 students involved in the program and almost 400 mentors involved in the program. So,
yeah, that's awesome. And when did you personally get involved?
So I moved to Rhode Island from Cleveland, Ohio in 2018. And in Cleveland, I've heard of it. Some of my colleagues were involved with it, but I was always involved with the local AIA chapter, the American Institute of Architects in Cleveland. I was on the board for AIA Cleveland. And then when I moved to Rhode Island, had to restart my network. I didn't know anybody aside from my wife and her family. And so I was working from the company remotely out of Ohio, so I didn't have coworkers and stuff, but I was really looking for something to get involved with. And I came across the ACE Mentor Program and connected with an individual who was a professor at RISD, and we got coffee and he was telling me all about it. And I said, this is exactly something I would want to do and dedicate my time to. So I joined in 2018 and have been involved since. And I would say, yeah, we've had some tremendous growth in the past couple of years, just really putting the effort of what we want the students to get out of it at the foreground. That's the most important thing. So we are a very lean organization in terms of operations, all with the understanding of how do we raise the most money to give the most scholarships, provide the best mentorship and support, not just in high school, but as their alumni and go into maybe a trades apprentice program or college and their 4-year program for engineering or construction management or architecture. So it's been really great to be part of, and I've built a lot of really good friendships personally out of it, but it's been really rewarding to be involved with.
Yeah, and something, I've been in, this is my third year being a mentor. I've been out at the Boston chapter for 2 years and seen a lot of success there. It's been really rewarding for me to get in there and share my expertise. After 10, 11 so years in the industry, it's great to see the kids participating. What I really want to do, just to help spread the awareness and the access, is I really want to get into like how, who is the audience for the ACE program. I want to be very clear on that. And for anyone listening that happens to be interested in engineering, or you are an AEC engineer, if a contractor, an architect, anyone that's adjacent to this space, if you know this audience as well, that you can be a part in spreading that awareness. So I'd like to just like get really down to the basics. Who is this program for, and how do they sign up?
Yeah, we'll start with the students. So the first thing, no matter where you are, you can go to acementor.org, and that will take you to the national website. And so that's, and then you click on the top right corner and it says find a program near you, and you will see little dots on the map of every single affiliate. And then through that, you can click on those and say you're in Texas or Indiana or Ohio or Rhode Island. You click on that and you'll find your local affiliate. Some states have more than one affiliate. Rhode Island, we're a small state, so we have just the one. And so find that affiliate. Some of the affiliates have their own websites that it'll take you to. You can click on there. Everybody has a profile. And then some just have the national page as the resource. So you'll see whichever one makes sense for you. So for Rhode Island, we have our own website and it has all our information, but that's how you'll find the location for you. And then you'll need to register with the program. And it's literally on the ACE National website, right above where that find a program is for you. And so then you'll click and register. And when you enter all your information and you select the affiliate, so if you're in New York and you select that, you'll get on their list of registered students. So whenever they start their programs, you'll get an email and you'll be assigned to a team and have a whole onboarding process of what that is. And I think the first thing too that people should know is this is a completely free program for students. There's no cost associated with it for the students, for the schools, for teachers, parents, guardians, anybody. It is completely free. It is totally ran by volunteers, and some affiliates have paid staff, but it's a no cost experience and program for students. And that's due to national sponsors, local sponsors, all the firms that like ours that we work at, Jake, that's who is helping grow all of these affiliates across the country. And so it's been really great to see the industry come together to do that. And, and seeing also all the affiliates talking to one another and how to have best practices for the students and what they're seeing works for students and learning from each other is really great. It's another part of it. And that's kind of one of the most important things too. It creates a network, not just for the students, but those involved. And I would say that is probably the biggest benefit of something like this. Yes, you're learning about the industry and you're learning all these tools or how to do stormwater management or structural engineering, and you're getting exposed to architecture and design. You're getting a little taste of all of these things, but you really have the opportunity to like build relationships with the mentors. So if you go to school for structural engineering and you go through college and you graduate, you have this network of all those involved with ACE, whether they were in your kind of class as a student or a mentor. So I would say that's another really great benefit of ACE.
Hey, my fellow impactful engineers. If there's one thing that you could do to help out this community, it's to keep listening to the podcast, but also if you found value in it, to share it with one person, give us a 5-star review, or even leave a text review. It'll only take a few seconds of your time. Find that person that you think could enjoy some of this or learn from it, and pass on the good word. Now back to the show.
It's such a strong addition to, your ability to get a job out of school. Because we're talking about a 4-year potentially program for high school students. So someone can join as a freshman all the way through senior year and build this network year in and year out of like-minded students, like-minded peers, meet with industry professionals. Like, what other place can you get a direct line to spend 2 hours with an industry professional who's giving their time, in a setting where it is very much on purpose that we are networking together, that we are learning about engineering and architecture and construction. There's just so much benefit there. And I really want to hit on that because it's, to me, it seems like a huge barrier for who am I? I'm a high school student. I don't even know if I like engineering. Why would I go to this? What's it going to be all about? I just want to encourage people that if you're either a high school student listening to this, or you're someone that knows somebody that could benefit from the program, to just take that step. Like, we're all there very much to serve you. So it's never a burden on you. It's never anything that like, oh, if I show up and I don't even know what I want to do, or I have no inkling of doing any of this, like, that's actually who we want to show up. Because a lot of people just don't even know that this whole career path is available to them. That I think it was like 30% of titled engineers, or you have an engineering degree or architecture, go into this industry. Like, it's a big pool. And we kind of forget about that because it seems like there's not enough of us, right? So that's another reason to really join in, is because it's very high demand. And if you have this specialty, you're going to be very sought after. But it's a very viable career path, and it's very rewarding as well. So I encourage people to just take that step, figure out how to get to the meetings, figure out, take those steps that Chris outlined very well, do some exploration and get on there and register. It's free. And I just wanted to hit on that because it seems like sometimes people are like, it's not for me, or it just seems like too much. It's like, we're there to help you, right? So yeah, you talked about, Gilbane being a big supporter. You've even used space that they have. I'm sure that they've seen the benefits of being a part of a program like this, for people, but also for their own company.
Yeah. Yeah. So here again, using Rhode Island as the example, because that's what I know. One of our board members participated in ACE for a year when he was in high school. And then one of our alumni who's involved with our alumni committee, he's not on our board right now. He used to be on the board years ago, but he participated in the program in 2010 when he graduated high school. And then he graduated from college and with a construction management degree. And then he's been working at Gilbane ever since. And he had an internship while he was an ACE student. This was pre-summer extern program. So I think he just got an internship through being an ACE alumni. And it is incredible to see his passion still for ACE, his passion for the industry. Every time we want him to come talk to students at his school, he's always there to raise his hand to do it, or at events. So seeing people in their career that started at ACE, got exposed to this, and now are thriving in a career at Gilbane. And that's just one example, but there's tons at architecture firms, engineering firms, construction firms that have gone through the program to be as impactful as Edwin has been at Gilbane and in our community here in Rhode Island and through ACE and his continued involvement. So I'm super appreciative and grateful for when he always comes back to kind of share his story with students and families and stuff. When he talks at our annual events, it's really impactful.
So cool.
Yeah. And I'll add to, there's still more benefits for students too, that I can touch on. And I'll speak to our experience in Rhode Island, and this isn't for all affiliates, don't operate the same, but there is a lot of shared similarities. So you'll just have to look into wherever you're at if they have the same stuff. But from Rhode Island standpoint, we offer summer externships that's in partnership with ACE National. So ACE National will pay the students a stipend after their senior year of high school to go and intern, or we call it an externship because it's the company's not paying for it. And so students can go and get real world shadowing internship experience before they even step foot on a college campus. I know I didn't have my first internship till my senior year of college, and I, just kept putting it off and stuff. So this is, if I could go back and do this in high school and figure out, do I like engineering? Do I like mechanical engineering or structural? Or do I want to go into robotics and not really go into the architecture, construction, engineering? Like ACE is a place that you can learn and figure out what you want to do, or at least help you get there. Maybe you won't figure it out still by the time you graduate high school, but it can give you guidance, or it can confirm something that you had. Like, I want to go into architecture and I want to work in this city and do this type of building. And you might do an ACE program for 4 years, and that is confirmed. At the end of the 4 years, you still are as passionate about that and excited about it. So it gives you both kind of experiences, and almost a guidance and path. And so the summer externships are really great. There's also summer camps that we have. So we partner again with ACE National. There's a Falling Water summer camp that goes and sees the Frank Lloyd Wright House. There's one in partnership with some universities, I believe in Denver, University of Colorado, that they do a summer camp for students there. So I know our affiliate in Rhode Island has paid for students to go experience those in the past. So that's just another benefit. And I would say it's also a benefit for students that maybe were in ACE or are in college and trying to build relationships with firms to get an internship. Maybe they're our junior in architecture program at a nearby school. You can still be a mentor. You could relate to these students. You were just there a couple years ago, and you're building a relationship with all the professionals at the firms in your city or your area. And so it really is a benefit to everybody involved. And it's the same thing with the mentors. You're building a network with other professionals and, finding opportunities to pursue projects together, or just become friends with somebody that you might be mentoring a group of students with. So there's all of these benefits no matter where you are in your career. And we have opportunities and events for everyone involved.
And even if at the end your decision is, man, I've had a really good peek into what this industry is and the people and what would I be doing, and it's like, no, I don't want to do that at all.
Yeah.
You still gain, so much from it, and even just the
Yeah.
fact that that you're not interested in that field,
Yep.
because college is a big decision, right? So who wouldn't want to spend 4 years somewhere learning from professionals and taking a peek into this pretty large sector of the economy,
Yep.
in engineering, and then be able to decide that, hey, that's maybe not this path. Can help guide you make a good financial decision when you do plan to go to college.
Yeah. And I would say too, my personal goal is to one day in the not distant future, give somebody a full ride college scholarship. I think that would be amazing. In Rhode Island, again, speaking for what we do here, we actually ranked third out of all of the affiliates last year in the highest average scholarship. So our average scholarship was $8,500 per student. And is $8,500 going to pay for a year of school? No, but it's a nice dent to, books for a few semesters, or depending on your scholarships, just that extra maybe that you need. So that's something we're really proud of. I would love one day to be able to write, a check for $200,000 for a couple students. I mean, I think that's, we're not there yet, but hopefully one day.
That would have a huge impact.
Yeah. And even, some of our students recently got $12,000. Another one was awarded a national scholarship in addition to our local scholarship. So they were awarded over $20,000. And just to see their reaction, or parents, because when they come to get the scholarships at our award ceremony, they have no idea how much they're getting. And
Right.
just to see that is awesome. I mean, it just kind of lives in your brain forever. And also they're just so appreciative. They come up to, individuals involved with the organization after and just are so grateful for that, which has been awesome. And something too that we've recognized in the past several years is the importance of the trades, and that not everybody is interested in a traditional 4-year program of engineering or architecture degree and really want to do a awesome career with their hands. They want to be building stuff that in the buildings that we all go in every day. They want to be the ones doing that, and they're really hands-on learning. They're interested in that. So here in Rhode Island, we started doing a trades day once a year. And this year was great. We partnered with all of the local unions, and we had hands-on workshops and VR welding, setups, and bricklaying and pipe fitting. And it was incredible. There was tables for resources. So you can come to this event. You can talk to all of the unions. There was also an organization that will help you go through all the education that you need for that and provide it all mostly unpaid. And a lot of the unions also have programs that you go in that are free. And something when, you're talking about barriers to entry and pathways, we realize that some unions or some apprentice programs are, might not cover 100% of those costs. And we really worked with this organization called Building Futures here in Providence. What are those potential costs that somebody might take on, or they might have to take on, and might stop them from going into this career because they don't have the money to do that? And they came back and said, we really see about $750 of costs sometimes that might not be covered for a variety of reasons. And so this year we really wanted to remove that. And I'm a very direct person. So if $750 is the barrier, let's make it $1,000. And so we put out $1,000 sponsorship opportunity, and we had 4 companies step up this year to give us $1,000 scholarships. So those companies will give us $1,000, and we will give it directly to 4 students wanting to go into the trades. We're not adding to operation cost for our organization. It is 100% going to the students, because we don't want $750 to stop somebody from going into a career path, because they don't have it at that moment of time. And so is 4 the best number in the world? No, but it's a start. And I hope we can, triple that number every year or something, or, I hope we can just do more and more. So we, just can provide a really solid path and support system for students.
Yeah. And the more people that come in, obviously, the more attention you can get and the more money you can raise. and the more and the more and the more, right?
Yep.
I'd imagine that, and I didn't know if I was going to go this direction, but recruitment, right, is probably a big part of the strategy. Retaining people. What is it that, I guess, once the program starts, right? Give us a little insight into what does that look like? What are they going to learn over the year or the session? Give us just a little peek, a little bit of insight on what is done.
Yeah. So our program starts in October and runs through March and meets once a week for 2 hours. So it is a big commitment. I say even from our mentors and students, I've never been a mentor. I pop into some of the sessions every year, but I'm not a full-time mentor. And I think that's the lifeline of what our organization is. If we don't have students, we don't have a program. If we don't have mentors, we don't have a program. So to me, those are the two most important things. And so our program varies location by location. We have 4 locations, and we start off with kind of just introductory. Everybody meets each other. We do some fun exercises with pasta and gumdrops and build a structure to see who can make the tallest thing. And the students get to know each other and get to know the mentors. And then we start introducing the industry as a whole and then start breaking it down week by week. And so there's really focused weeks. So you can really get a sprinkle of all the different careers. So we'll talk about structural engineering, site planning, landscaping, cost estimating. We do construction site visits, we do college campus visits, we do office visits, stormwater management. We start teaching tools like SketchUp and Revit. And then we also have a local project here where we pick a site that's empty, or, the past 2 years it's been empty. It might be a renovation one day, but our program is a new project every year. So last year, the students designed what could a community center look like in this neighborhood right outside of downtown Providence. It was an empty parking lot. And so the students worked on this throughout the year as they're gaining knowledge in all of those fields that I had mentioned, and they're building upon their skill set and using what they learn every week to design a community center and then present that community center pitch to a jury that we had. And then we had almost 130, 140 people in attendance last year. And so this year is going to be a parking lot along a river in downtown Providence and reimagining what will that look like. And I think they're designing a mixed use project this year. Other affiliates do that. Sometimes it'll be a housing project or designing a school. So I know Cleveland, the ACE affiliate in Cleveland, they do a different project. They call it their RFP, just like, in the industry, here's a project, pitch your idea for it. So, being from Cleveland and knowing people involved with ACE, I took the idea from them, and they do a really good job with engaging their students with that. So it's been a great success for us this year too. We're excited. We're going to be actually presenting, the students will be presenting on a stage at the theater at the Providence Public Library downtown. So we've outgrown the office. Gil Bain is a big supporter, and from sponsor, our board, they're a huge supporter of the ACE Mentorship Program nationally and here in Rhode Island. So they were hosting our student presentation at their office, and it's a good thing, but we hit fire capacity. We couldn't, we had people on a wait list to come last year. So we thought this year, let's, we appreciated all the support, but now we've outgrown that space. So we're really excited to be at the Providence Public Library this year and in just a few months. So.
And so here's what I heard, right? I heard within this program, you're going to basically learn what are all the parts and pieces that come together to build either that community center or the mixed use building or the parking lot, right? Who are the main players? What are the career paths? What do we actually do to design and then pitch this project? So really what I've heard is like, you're going to know pretty well how to structure being a consultant, an architect, an engineer before you even enter college. Like you're gonna have a really good idea of all the parts and pieces that come together to actually build something in your town, right? Oh, the new Starbucks is going up. Oh, the new community center is going up. Oh, we're getting a new theater. Oh, you're gonna know all of the things that go into that pretty well. So I don't know. I hear a free program, right? you get to hang out and network with a bunch of professionals, and then you get to learn some really cool skills and know how things are actually brought about in construction around you.
And I
and you
will
get to hang
say,
out with a bunch of cool people, right?
yeah, and meet students from other schools. And
Yeah.
I will say too, depending on what affiliate you live closest to or you go to school closest to, every affiliate is different. Everybody's not doing the same exact program. I know there's one, I believe, in upstate New York. They meet on a Saturday instead of during the week, and theirs is really a hands-on program, and they build tree houses or like playhouses that they donate to children that maybe have different illnesses or different disabilities. So they give back there, and the high school students are in the program learning from all these professionals. They're building something with their hands, and then they're giving it back at the end. So every program might vary a little bit depending on where you're at, and I would say that's the exciting thing. It could be a project custom to your region. So not everybody's designing, a community center in Providence. Obviously, somebody might live on the coast somewhere and they're doing something with coastal resiliency or more of a landscape heavy project and how to, save a certain area or something. So it's really cool that it kind of gives you a different variety of experiences and all the skill sets that you might need going into it. And also being able to present something in front of 130, 200 people that are coming to hear what you did. We had a city planning official come and be on the jury last year. So, I mean, it was just, we try to make it as real world applicable as possible while keeping it fun. I always say we don't expect these students to be putting a construction document set together and this building is going to go get built tomorrow. This is really to expose them to the industry, get them interested in it, confirm if they're interested, and then provide the support for them to continue to go on in whatever path, as our industry has hundreds of different career paths that make it up. So it's been a great program for me to be involved with. And it's a great program, I think, for every high school student that is somewhat interested in it to be a part of.
Yeah. And it's something that, we plan to continue well into the future. And I think it's, like you said, it's growing, and I heavily recommend that just take the chance and get into it. There's really no downside. So switching topics here just a little bit.
Okay.
This wouldn't be an impactful engineer episode if we didn't talk about something that might be able to help you or change your mindset on something. And I know that it was a hot topic a while ago with AI. It still continues to be a hot topic these days. I'd like to peel back the curtain. What do engineers and what can newer engineers, use AI for? I've got a million things that I use AI for, and I think it's rad. Not everybody loves the idea of AI. They kind of have this, I don't know, blanket thought about it that, hey, it's here to steal jobs and it's dumb and it doesn't know anything. And if you're using AI as an engineer, you're not an engineer. I don't think that's true, at all. I don't think AI is going to replace. It's just going to, the person with the AI is going to beat out the person that doesn't use the AI. You know what I mean? It's it's another tool. And we're not here to talk about doomsday scenarios or, whatever, the Terminator coming to life. We're not here to talk about that. Arnold's not coming to knock down our door anytime soon. But in engineering, or I guess in architecture, even in your job function, it's what is the use of AI, and, what do you see it as being in a positive light?
Yeah. So I'm giving a talk at the Boston Society of Architects, or the BSA, in a couple of weeks. And it's a continuation of a talk I did about business development, relationship development, personal brand, your company brand, all to build relationships with people and, obviously get projects and work on projects together with the people that you're building these relationships with. That is a huge component of what I use AI for in business development. I use it to do all kinds of research instead of Googling 50 higher ed campuses websites to look at master plans or to find, this one developer's website that I heard about and look on there to see who their contact is. I use AI to do a lot of this research, and then I go in and confirm that and use the links and I'm also a big fan of just giving people the tools to do it instead of, pie in the sky and then they don't know where to start. So I use Perplexity AI. It's been really great. It gives you all the sources of what it's pulling from. You can click on them directly right there. So if you're searching higher ed master plans for this university, it'll take you to their campus website or campus master plan website. It'll list their facilities team or, people on their real estate team. So it's really great. And that's how I use it a lot. I think there's a resistance to AI because early on, the claim is, oh, it's wrong. It gives you wrong information. Sure, the free original version of ChatGPT probably had some bugs in it, just like the first iPhone. It was
atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, just like the first iPhone has some bugs. The first car ever invented probably had some bugs. And so I think people are still holding on to that. Well, it's wrong. It's not wrong. It might be wrong sometimes, but that's also where us as users have to check with it. I know I was doing research and it was showing me a project architect for a university, and I knew that was wrong based on just who I know and, talking about this individual and stuff. So I put, this is wrong information, please rerun. And it was, and it corrected. Oh, thank you for correcting me. I noted that. And so I think people, it is a tool. Part of the talk I'm giving about at the BSA, is helping people realize how they can use it in business development. We're really going to focus on business development, but just like in architecture, everybody hand drew everything, and there was paper and ink and pens and pencils, and that's how everyone did it. And then fast forward, I'm going to jump multiple decades probably with the technology, but won't even go back. There were stones that were made to inscribe on, and then paper came along, post stone carvings. Then the black and green screen of AutoCAD, the original AutoCAD came out, and there might have been a version before the black and green screen, but that's the first one I remember. So I'll just mention that one. And then Revit came out, and now Revit has evolved. And then there's plugins to Revit like Enscape, or there's SketchUp, or there's other, Jake, you could probably say other technology that's out.
I saw the Revit introduction, 10 years ago in my career, at least in the company I was in, and everybody was like, no.
Yep.
Stick to AutoCAD. We get to draw whatever we want, wherever we want, scale it perfectly, and draw the lines. And what's this Revit stuff? And now guess what? Everybody's using Revit.
Yep. And so there's a natural resistance in a lot of people. There's a natural resistance in a lot of people, I think, to technology that comes along. And it's for a variety of reasons. Maybe people just don't like change, or maybe they invested 5 years and thousands of dollars in taking AutoCAD courses or something. I've learned this thing, I'm really good at it, I don't want to change. Over. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so now AI is here. And so you have Midjourney, you have, there's a ton of platforms out there. I just met a guy that's in Cambridge, and they're doing a startup and taking AI images and being able to translate that to real measurable models and give you measurements, so you can start, being farther ahead with your construction documents. So it's not just, oh, that's a cool looking image. Well, that's this cool image and it's this size and it's allowing you to do blocking and understand. So they're trying to give you speed to get something done. And I don't think if you get something done faster, that makes you a worse designer or a worse engineer or a worse architect. I think it makes you a better person of that. And I think you're 100% right. The people that use AI as a tool will be so much farther ahead, because something's probably going to come after AI too. And AI will then be just like AutoCAD is to Revit. And so you will never outwork technology that is coming. I mean, it's just a fact. Right. Gary Vaynerchuk, who I know you're a fan of as well, he has a quote that's always stuck in my head of, when the car was invented, there was a guy with 100 horses. He lost. He didn't want to believe the car was a real thing, and he just kept buying horses or only used horses. And so I think that mindset is hopefully changing over time. I think people are maybe realizing that it could be a very useful tool. I think I'm thinking of how architects work with developers or clients, and you're ideating something, and they say, we would love to see something, really open, all wood interior with glass and this dramatic light coming in. And we're going to have it as a music space for this, music school on a campus or something. And so, all right, we'll take that and we'll see you in, 2-3 weeks and we'll show you a concept and, we'll present what we think is
Work
that.
until midnight.
Yeah.
And
You could
finish all
do
this
that.
other stuff.
You could do that in a meeting as the person's talking and say,
Yep.
is this kind of the direction you're thinking? And then they could be like, yes, or absolutely not. And if they say yes or no, you then can do it again. Or if they say yes, you say, all right, well, now that we kind of have a visual, we're going to go and work on this. And then we'll, create our, schematic design and we'll work on it and we'll come back and meet in a few weeks. But, again, not relying on it to do something. I mean, almost like firms use precedents, to show somebody in a meeting, oh, I want to open office with X, Y, and Z. Well, you're just going on like Google and finding, or Office Snapshots or all these other platforms that people dump work into. And you're showing often either your work or other firms' work in a meeting. And so I think AI has a place for that. I mean, I personally would rather show something visual that somebody thought of or said out loud rather than another firm's work. So I think that's a capability I really haven't heard many people talking about. But I know I've done it. I've been at events, and a woman on the panel was talking about her pipe dream being creating a modular lab building. So as she's talking, I'm a big idea person, and I pull out my phone and I open up the Midjourney app on my phone and I type in modular lab building, that each component could be changed with people working inside the labs. And obviously, it's not just that easy to actually make happen in the real world. I think there was a housing project in Japan that was designed with that intent, but none of the units ever were moved. And I believe they're maybe closing. It's closed, but I believe they're knocking the building down maybe. So could this work? Maybe. I don't know. Could it not work? Yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, people would probably be doing it. But I went up to her right after her talk because I just loved how she described this dream of hers to have this. And I showed her looked like a professional rendering of a modular lab building. And her face lit up and she was like, yes, she's like, you were listening to me. That's exactly what I've been talking about. And I think that just to get people thinking differently of what could be, AI has a huge place for that. So that's how I use it.
That's awesome. It's only going to get more and more and more. I mean, who knows what's even next? They're going to change the whole landscape, and the people that have been training AI are going to start teaching it physics or teaching, it's just going to be this whole new thing. And then it'll get easier and more efficient and you won't have to use so much power, and then it'll be works, whatever. I see it being huge just from living and looking at what's happened around me.
One of our principals, I showed it to him and he was like, you made this? And I said, yeah. He goes, what did you do to make? And I said, you did it on my phone in like 30 seconds. He's like, are you kidding me? And so he's like, I don't even know why. He's like, we don't even need to do our jobs anymore, and it's like a joke, but like I'm in business development making this cool rendering I think the building could have been whatever, but it was the fact that I was listening to somebody, which is what we all need to do as architects, engineers, builders, listen to what the person needs and then use our expertise to provide what we think could be a solution based on what their challenges are, what they need. So yep. I'm using AI to do that in my job in business development, and it's been great.
We're all different. We all have our own methods of operation. We all have our own ways of working. We're all at different levels, different intelligence levels, different skill levels. What the key is, I've found with AI, is to identify how you work personally and then amplify that with AI. So for me, the way that I work is in groupthink. Like, I'm not the guy that's going to sit here by myself and figure everything out. I'm just not that person. There's plenty of people like that. I'm not that way. What I like to do is go, okay, we've listened. We know the desired outcome that the client wants. We know some of the pain points. We know what might get in our way. We know some hurdles. Okay, great. I want to grab the mechanical electrical process team with 3 or 4 engineers, and I want to talk about this project, and I want to start sketching. I want to start asking, well, what about this detail? What about that detail? And start building the picture. We do that well, but can I do that all the time? Now, no, I can't because I need to let people work, right? But now I get to groupthink with ChatGPT, you know? And while it's not always right, it kickstarts me in my experience so quickly, and I get to iterate like I love to iterate, and I get to do all of this with an AI
Mhm.
chatbot basically. And it gets to the point where I'm having conversations back and forth with the chat GPT um, online, and I'm making breakthroughs in my thinking. I'm coming up with concepts and ideas, and it's like I don't even care who's going to tell me, oh, you can't do that math in your head, you got to use a calculator, huh? Yeah, but I can use the calculator and whoop your ass every single time, and I get to the answer way before you do, even though you would get to it faster than me without the calculator. Cool, so what? I'm an outcomes guy.
Mhm.
Oh, well, then the calculator goes away, and then what are you going to do? Well, then I'll do it your way, and I'll probably still beat you. What about that? But no, I'm just joking. But if the calculator, like, has the calculator ever gone away? Have we ever been not accessible to a calculator? No, it's never happened.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Well,
had to
before
change
the
some batteries.
calculator,
Oh,
before the
right,
calculator was invented, we didn't have it. But yeah, I mean,
right,
that's the thing with technology is technology usually, and again, I'm not a technology historian, but technology doesn't usually go backwards. It goes forwards. And so we're not saying, hey, Revit's been really great and now we have AI and, Photoshop has evolved, of Photoshop 2025. We're going to go back to version 1 of Photoshop. We're going to use what started. That never happens. And
right.
so you would be crazy to think that AI is going to be the end, and you would be crazy to not embrace it, because once people start getting comfortable with AI, there's going to be another platform or another evolution of that. So I think our industry, we have people in our industry that are really embrace tech. And then you have a lot of people in the industry working on the same types of projects, going after the same things, same education, and they're very resistant to it. So I think the AEC industry is actually a really interesting dynamic for the use, embrace, or lack of both of those things for technology. It's kind of, it seems to be
Yep.
polarizing often.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it moves a little slower, right? But so the baselines shift. So the people that are taking out the physical drafting paper, whatever the hell that was, some people could probably tell me, and they're using their
It's
stencils and they're
vellum, Jake.
drawing and
It's
vellum.
vellum.
There you go. And they have their art, right? Because creating a good drawing is art, and and it takes you so long to get this thing done, but it's like, oh, but that's just the way we do it, and it's really good, and people appreciate it. It's the baseline is so far beyond that now that it's not viable to be in business and still do that, at least to the point where you're competing with people. So now the baseline is, yes, you use computer aided drafting. That's the baseline. If you're not doing that, you're not really going to launch your business very well, right?
Yeah.
Or compete at any high level. And it's the same thing with AI. It's like it's going to move the baseline.
Yeah.
So I would
Yeah.
recommend that you learn it, right? Learn how to
I
use
I
it.
do think there is a place for handcrafted things in our industry. Um, I I love architectural sketches. The first architecture firm I ever worked at, uh, I was the guy that started it. He really like set a standard for passion and design, and it like instilled a lot in me. And I have such a respect for him. And I have some of his original sketches from like the 40s when he was over in Europe that his daughter had saved for me. He passed away a few years ago. And so I think there's an art to a hand sketch. Like he would use the pastels and sketch ideas in front of clients. And it became like watching an artist live in front of you. And it was really cool. And I think that has a place. I don't think if you were only doing everything by hand and using a ruler and you're trying to do a build, like speed to get the project done. If a client wants something done, hey, we need this school to be open by this year, and you're sitting there hand drawing every pipe, every electrical like outlet, every wall detail like on paper, and that's going to be a while, and so you don't need to be an artist to do construction documents. I mean, I'm not an architect. I don't do construction documents, but I would say that's a pretty fair statement. That's a very technical thing that needs to get done. And so what you're talking about of moving the baseline with technology is to remove some of those things to allow everyone else to allow individuals on your team or you as a sole practitioner or a huge firm, wherever you're at in your career, it allows you to do the thing that makes you you. I think everybody has a unique skill set and things that drive them in and outside of work. And so if you can use a technology, it doesn't have to be AI. It could be maybe you're, in music or something and you're using technology to record, this new software that came out. Like, it allows you to do the thing to get the job done so you can then focus on creativity, or what is the design of this going to be, or how is this mechanical system going to operate way more efficiently than what we've done on the last project. Like, it allows you to use your brain to think of those things that AI isn't quite there yet for. I think AI will never replace the human interaction and relationships. There's obviously Siri, and you can talk to it and you can talk to some of these things, but AI will not replace a friendship that, Jake, you and I have a relationship and I talk to you, and, that's not going to be replaced by a technology. So I think I would rather fast track all of my tasks so I can do the human element side of things and what I do on a daily basis for my job.
Yeah. I'm glad you went a little deeper, because that's like subtle undertones of what I am actually trying to say. It's like our brains were meant for creativity and problem solving, right? And strategy, not writing a report the right way so that it sounds good to the reader. And, it's like, oh my gosh, I've done the thought, I've done the decision making. Now I've got to do this other thing to convey that to somebody else. The art and the value isn't in the thing to create the document to convey. The art and why we need our human brains is because of the decision making and sound strategy, right? And we don't need to be like, I don't have a list of things I got to do in my head, right? It's on my calendar and it's on my loose ends list. That stuff's for later. Like, I should be thinking, discussing, strategizing. And I think
executing.
AI allows you to
don't
do
forget
that.
executing.
And executing. Yes.
That's the most important.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So, I hope we kind of like made a dent or help somebody, nudge them in the right way. Nobody even has to be looking at you or knowing that you're using AI. Just kind of play with it and see how it can help you, right? I think that's all we're really asking for.
My wife is a clinical psychologist, and I always tell her she's much smarter than I am. And she often tries to guilt me and say, well, don't you feel bad that you're not writing that, or you're not doing the research to find this thing out? And I said, no, I didn't claim to ever be a, amazing writer. And so I also don't, my job isn't to do research. My job, that's a component of what I'm supposed to do. My job, is supposed to build relationships with people and, connect people. That's really my job, and know what's kind of going on and opportunities for our firm to, solve a problem for somebody, or a campus needs this, or a developer needs whatever, wants to do a project. My job is even to connect those people to the people that actually do it. So like, the more I can focus on relationships and building connections with people, and that's often even connecting others where I'm not even gaining anything out of it. I'm a give type of person. And so AI allows me to be able to focus on that way more. And so it's great. It's not going anywhere. I hope not, at least.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to tell someone to, like, if you love creating reports and that's like what you do, and like automating that would just make you feel like trash. Like, yeah, sure. Don't automate that. Like, I'm just saying, like, there's something within the art of creating a report that's really awesome that you could leverage AI with, because, someone else will if you don't, right?
Yeah.
So I just try to keep that competitive edge. But hey, you hate it. Who cares?
Yeah. Do the things you love, whatever that is.
This is just what we think about it. Like,
everybody can love something differently.
Absolutely,
and be driven by something different, and that's okay.
Continue to ride the horse for the rest of your life, and damn those cars. Like, so cool. I'm 100% behind that. Okay, great conversation. I think someone's going to get something out of, hopefully with ACE, I hope somebody that just had a blip or a thought like, hey, I think I know somebody that could be interested. Just give them a call, man. Turn the episode off right now and just go call them. And then the AI discussion. I like having those discussions around high level mindset around those. So I think this was great. There's a couple of questions we always ask every guest. Mine being, what is the one action someone could take today, either to get closer to the outcome we've talked about or a step further in their career, whatever advice you want to get them to hit the ground running. That would be my first question to you.
I would say the thing to get started is find the thing that drives you or interests you. It might not even be something that you even know how to do yet, but you want to learn. Find that thing and go all in on it. I think whether that's volunteering for a nonprofit like ACE, or it's making pottery, or, collecting sports cards. I have a lot of hobbies. My wife always is asking me like, is there anything you don't do like 100%? And I do go through waves of, I really want to do this, or this vintage watch, or, whatever it may be, or sneakers. And now she is really into sewing, and she started taking some classes. And I said, go all in on it, like have the thing. And so she got a sewing table and she's really excited. And so whether that's in a professional career or a passion outside of work, or a cause that you're driven by, it could be volunteering at a food bank in your community. It could be volunteering for a youth program in your community. It could be participating in a gaming team at your local like school or something. Whatever it is, find that thing that drives you, your cause, something you're passionate about, and just go all in to do it to the best of your abilities.
I love the go all in mentality, especially in this context, because if you kind of feather in things and touch a bunch of things, you never really know who you're going to be if you are focused and are like going in, like all in on something. You learn so much about yourself when you do that.
Yeah. And you learn so much more about the thing that you're invested in.
And the thing.
And it just makes it more exciting. And so, it could be woodworking, and not saying you need to go to Home Depot and buy $50,000 of equipment and build a wood shop right away. But, maybe one day you do, I don't know. And so again, being open to exploring things and just do it 100%. And so you can say, I did all I could for this thing, whether it's personally or affects somebody or a larger community outside of it, again, to the volunteering side. So,
love it. And stick through it. Stick through it for a little bit. Don't quit.
Yeah.
All right. And so the next question is, what in your mind, I know you're not an engineer, but the show's about being an impactful, insert the blank, and we happen to be engineers here. So to be an impactful engineer, like what does it mean to you to be an impactful engineer?
Well, I guess I would go to what we were just talking about of going all in on something, but to really be an impactful engineer. And again, I mentioned briefly and previously, like finding your cause. There's a guy I've become friends with. His name's Rob Acton, and he has a organization called Cause Strategy Partners. And he is based in New York City, but he works with nonprofits and companies across the country. And what they do is they work with people at companies to help them find their cause, and they match them to a nonprofit that aligns with that cause. And I think that mindset is amazing. You could do that in your job as an engineer, as an architect, and find the thing that you love doing every day, whether it's small residential architecture projects or really high-end residential homes or mixed-use housing, whatever it is that drives you, corporate offices or hospitals, community centers, capital development projects for nonprofits. There is a lane for everybody to align their passion with their talent and skill set. And I think to be really an impactful engineer, architect, impactful business developer, it's aligning all of those things, your cause that you resonate with, your skill set, and then there's like a sweet spot there in the middle. And is everything you do every day going to check that off or check all of those boxes off? No. But I think if you kind of keep that as a kind of North Star to guide you. And I think that's what would make an impactful engineer, just something that makes you kind of wake up and you're like, yep, this is what I'm contributing, or I feel fulfilled at the end of the day because I did X, Y, and Z. So yeah, that's my impactful engineer, not being an engineer.
Yeah. And like, what better way to figure that out as quickly as possible than to go 100% in on things?
Mm-hmm.
I like how you tied those two things together. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Great show, Chris. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Jay.